Good morning. Well, scholars, yesterday was a fabulous day, and I know that today is going to be even better. Okay? So I thought we'd start off our day with me reading to you again, because I kind of liked that the first day, and I missed it yesterday. So we are with Opal and Miss Franny. No, she's not with Miss Franny. She's with Gloria Dump, right? And so now we're just here on chapter 14. Here we go. Sometimes I told Gloria the story Miss Franny Block had just told me, or I imitated Otis tapping his pointy-toed boots, playing for all the animals, and that always made her laugh. And sometimes I made up a story about Gloria Dump. Sometimes I made up a story, and Gloria Dump would listen to it all the way through from the beginning to the end. She told me she used to love to read stories, but she couldn't anymore because her eyes were so bad. "Can't you get some really strong glasses?" I asked her. "Child," she said, "they don't make glasses strong enough for these eyes." One day when the storytelling was done, I decided to tell Gloria that Otis was a criminal. I thought maybe I should tell an adult about it, and Gloria was the best adult I knew. "Gloria," I said. "Mm-hmm," she said back. "You know Otis?" "Well, I don't know him, but I know what you tell me about him." "Well, he's a criminal. He's been in jail. Do you think I should be afraid of him?" "What for?" "I don't know. For doing bad things, I guess. For being in jail." "Child," said Gloria, "let me show you something." She got up out of her chair real slow and took hold of my arm. "Let's the two of us all walk all the way back to the back of my yard." "Okay," I said. We walked, and Winn-Dixie followed right behind us. It was a huge yard, and I had never been all the way back in it. When we got to a big old tree, we stopped. "Look at this tree," Gloria said. I looked up. There were bottles hanging from just about every branch. There were whiskey bottles and beer bottles and wine bottles, all tied on with a string, and some of them were clanking against each other and making a spooky kind of noise. Me and Winn-Dixie stood and stared at the tree. The hair on the top of his head rose up a little bit, and he growled deep in his throat. My dog Winnie does that. And it goes up on her neck and back on her back. Gloria Dump pointed a cane at the tree. "What you think about this tree?" I said, "I don't know. Why are all those bottles on it?" To keep the ghosts away," Gloria said. "What ghosts?" "The ghosts of all the things I'd done wrong." I looked at the bottles on the tree. "You did that many things wrong?" I asked her. "Mm-hmm," said Gloria. "More than that. But you're the nicest person I know," I told her. "Don't mean I haven't done bad things," she said. "There's whiskey bottles on there," I told her, and beer bottles." "Child," said Gloria Dump, "I know that. I'm the one who put 'em there. I'm the one who drank what was in 'em." "My mama drank," I whispered. "I know it," Gloria Dump said. "The preacher says that sometimes she couldn't stop drinking." "Mm-hmm," said Gloria again. "That's the way it is for some folks. We get started and we just can't stop." "Are you one of those people?" "Yes, ma'am, I am, and but these days I don't drink anything stronger than coffee." "Did the whiskey and the beer and the wine, did they make you do the bad things that are ghosts now?" "Some of them," said Gloria Dump. "Some of them I would have done anyway, with alcohol or without it, before I learned." "Learned what?" Learned the most important thing." "What's that?" I asked her. "It's different for everyone," she said. "You find out you're on your own, but in the meantime, you got to remember, you can't always judge people by the things they done. You got to judge them by what they are doing now. You judge Otis by the pretty music he plays and how he is so kind to them animals, because that's all you know about him right now. All right?" "Yes, ma'am," I said. "And them Dewberry boys? You try not to judge them too harsh either, all right?" "Oh, all right," I said. "All right then," said Gloria Dump, and she turned and started walking away. Winn-Dixie nudged at me with his wet nose and wagged his tail. When he saw I wasn't going, he trotted after Gloria. I stayed there, where I was, and I studied the tree. I wondered if my mamma, wherever she was, had a tree full of bottles, and I wondered if I was a ghost to her. Then the same way she sometimes feels like a ghost to me. Wow. That's pretty heavy. Gotta kind of let that sit for a minute. Okay. So chapter 15. She's going to the library. Here we go. The Herman W. Block Memorial Library air conditioning unit didn't work very good, and there was always only one fan, and from the minute me and Winn-Dixie got to the library, he hogged it all. He lay right in front of it, and he wagged his tail, and he let it blow his fur all around. Some of his fur was pretty loose and blew right off of him like a dandelion puff. I worried about him hogging the fan, and I worried about the fan blowing him bald. But Miss Franny said not to worry about either thing, and that Winn-Dixie could hog the fan if he wanted to, and she had never in her life seen a dog made bald by a fan. Sometimes when Miss Franny was telling a story, she would have a fit. They were small fits, and they didn't last long. But what happened was that she would forget what she was saying. She would just stop and start to shake a little, like a little leaf. And when that happened, Winn-Dixie would get up from the fan and sit right at Miss Franny Block's side. He would sit up tall, protecting her with his ears standing up straight on his head like soldiers. And when Miss Franny stopped shaking and started talking again, Winn-Dixie would lick her hand and lie back down in front of the fan. Oh, what a good dog. He's like a service dog, right? Because she's having like little episodes, right? Whenever Miss Franny had one of her fits, it reminded me of Winn-Dixie in a thunderstorm. There were a lot of thunderstorms that summer, and I got real good at holding on to Winn-Dixie whenever they came. I held on to him, and I comforted him, and I whispered to him, and I rocked him just the same way he tried to comfort Miss Franny when she had her fits. Only I held on to Winn-Dixie for another reason, too. I held on to him tight so he wouldn't run away. It all made me think about Gloria Dump. I wondered what comforted her when she heard those bottles knocking together, those ghosts chattering about the things she had done wrong. I wanted to comfort Gloria Dump, and I decided that the best way to do that would be to read her a book. Read it to her loud enough to keep the ghosts away. So that's why she went to the library to get a book. And so I asked Miss Franny, I said, Miss Franny, I've got a grown-up friend whose eyes are going on her, and I would like to read her a book out loud. Do you have any suggestions? Suggestions? Miss Franny said. Yes, ma'am. I have suggestions. Of course I have suggestions. How about Gone with the Wind? What's that about? I asked her. Why, Miss Franny said, it's a wonderful story about the Civil War. The Civil War? I said. Do not tell me you never heard of the Civil War. Miss Franny Block looked at me as if she was going to faint. She waved her hands in front of her face. I know about the Civil War, I told her. That was the war between the South and the North over slavery. Slavery, yes, said Miss Franny. It was also about states' rights and money. It was a terrible war. My great-grandfather fought in that war. He was just a boy. Your great-grandfather? Yes, ma'am. Litmus W. Block. Now, there's a story. Winn-Dixie yawned real big and lay down on his side with a thump and a sigh. I swear he knew the phrase, now there's a story, and he knew it meant we weren't going anywhere real soon. Go ahead and tell me, Miss Franny, I said, and I sat down cross-legged next to Winn-Dixie. I pushed him and tried to get him to share the fan, but he pretended he was asleep, and he wouldn't move. I was all settled in and ready for a good story when the door banged and pinch-faced Amanda Wilkinson came in. Ooh, pinch-faced. Now, where am I? Winn-Dixie Winn-Dixie sat up and stared at her. He tried out a smile on her, but she didn't smile back, and so he lay down again. Oh. I'm ready for another book, Amanda said, slamming her book down on Miss Franny's desk. Well, said Miss Franny, maybe you wouldn't mind waiting. I'm telling India Opal a story about my great-grandfather. You are, of course, more than welcome to listen. It will be just 1 minute. Amanda sighed a real big dramatic sigh and stared past me. She pretended like she wasn't interested, but she was. I could tell. Come sit over here, said Miss Franny. I'll stand, thank you, said Amanda. Suit yourself, Miss Franny shrugged. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, Litmus. Litmus W. Block. Okay. See, I got that old lady finger going good. All right, so the next chapter is chapter 16. And we are going to hear the story about her great-grandfather. And it's a really, really kind of sad, but it's got a twist to it too. So do you see how she's going up that story mountain? She's got all these different things, but it keeps coming back to her mama, huh? She keeps thinking about her mama, right? So she hasn't quite hit a climax there, and she's holding tight onto that dog, right? And they keep having the thunderstorms, and each one of those is a trauma for her. But she's also she was lonely, and she's meeting people along the way. So, boys and girls, I expect you to be doing this with your own book, and I expect you to have a book, probably one from that plastic bag. I haven't assigned any of those yet. I will, but you need to find a book that has, and you need to be getting to know that character like a friend, okay? You need to think about what they do, what they say. You need to think about where they are. You need to think about their journey, and I really want to see your reading folder. I want to see that mountain, okay? I want to see you having your character climb up that mountain, all right? Okay, enough said. So go get your book and come back and be ready for a Zoom meeting at 9:15, all right? See you there. Bye.